Hey yo, what is up, guys? It has been quite some time since I did a wrestling video. Um, Life, things, busy, but I'm back. Hopefully, I can be as consistent as I was before, but I'm back. A lot of things I have been wanting to talk about within wrestling, just never got around to making, topics, reviews about it. Um, One of the things I wanted to do was I did want to do a review of Payback um, because I was there live here in Chicago. I thought Payback. I'll just say briefly, um, without going into details, since Payback the pay per view is come and gone. I will say Payback to me, I think was the best WWE pay per view we've had so far. So far this year of 2016, I thought it was a solid pay per view. The matches were great. The only low lights was when Enzo got injured. That was a shocking, scary moment. And when Enzo got hurt, and I'm trying to think, and the women's title match was kind of but everything else in that entire pay per view I thought was solid. I enjoyed Payback much more than I enjoyed WrestleMania. And again, not because they were here in Chicago and I was there live to witness it, but I just thought Payback was all around better pay per view than WrestleMania. So that's my little quick tidbit on that, for catching up on that. Um, but what I wanted to talk about was the brand split. This is a big news that everybody who's a wrestling fan, anybody that's a wrestling fan, has been talking about this all week long since it was announced earlier or mid of last week or this past week. So I want to get my thoughts on the brand split. Um, okay, well, first, SmackDown. SmackDown's going to be moved to Tuesday nights on USA, and it's going to be live every Tuesday night. I think this is a step in the right direction, at least for the SmackDown brand. Um, because I remember before there were some people that had thrown out there, um, how come SmackDown won't go live permanently instead of having like these specials? Why don't SmackDown just go live? And I remember when Jim Ross was with the company at the time, said that it didn't make sense for SmackDown to go live consistently as Raw because it's just too much money because that's a separate TV broadcasting team that you would have to get and travel with. Um, separate production team that have to travel along with SmackDown. It just makes things extra strenuous and more financially costly. Well, for WWE to do this now, they must have the deep pockets to do it. And since SmackDown's going to move to Tuesdays, maybe it works better this way because you won't have a different production crew. You have the same production crew that do Raw. Maybe they're the same production crew and they do SmackDown the next day since it's all live. So that can also be the benefit too as to why SmackDown's probably moved up to Tuesday live instead of being on Thursday live, but being Tuesday live, they probably use the same production team and crew for Raw for SmackDown instead of using a separate, which would be more costly. Um, so that I think that's the bright spot. As for this brand split, eh, there are a lot of people that are more positive about the brand split. Um, as for me, I've been kind of like in the middle because I see its positives and yet maybe its negatives. First off, for a lot of people that are really hyped about the brand split, they make it seem like we haven't had the brand split in like years. It's only been about what 4 years since since the brand's extension was gone and now it's coming back. I think it was what summer 2011. I think it was summer 2011, maybe summer or spring of 2011. It's probably I think it was spring 2011 when Triple H came out and announced the brand extension will be no more. 2011 to 2016, about a 4 or 5 year gap. That's not too long considering how long the original brand extension lasts. 4 years, not that big of a drought or big of a gap when they got rid of it. Um, so yeah, they're bringing it back. Um, Here's my thing with the rosters brand. I think it can be interesting. Keep things fresh a little bit, freshen up the roster a little bit. I think the key thing is for me is title belts. Now the Intercontinental and U.S. title, I think maybe those can be exclusive to its respective brands. But in terms of the tag team title, women's title, WWE Championship, keep them as one belt, and that belt is shared amongst both brands. And I know that there are a lot of people that say, bring back, now that we're getting the brand section back, like bring back the World Heavyweight Championship. We can, guys like Dean Ambrose, Cesaro, they can come and they can come in and they can be world champions and everything else. But let's face the facts. It doesn't matter who wins the World Heavyweight title. The belt will always be second place and will always be second fiddle in comparison to the WWE title. Why? Because this is the WWE. This is the WWE Championship, a title that has been anonymous with that company's brand for over 60 plus years. So if you think for a fact or somewhere in your mind that a second world title is going to be up on par to that of the WWE Championship, you're setting yourself up for failure and you're setting yourself up to be disappointed, because whoever the WWE champion is, that's going to be the main guy. That's going to be the guy that's going to be doing all the branding, all of the, you're going to see on the posters, the merchandising. That's going to be the guy you're going to see on the morning talk shows. So, I mean, I don't give a fuck who is world heavyweight champion if they bring back a second world title. It's going to be second fiddle compared to the WWE title. Sorry, that's just the way it is. That's just the way the dice rolls in WWE. And secondly, personally, I just don't think it makes sense to have two world heavyweight champions within the same company. It worked originally back when it was first created because you had a lot of mainstream talent. You're talking about guys from ECW, WCW, WWE. It was a beefed up roster. And it's a beefed up roster right now. But in terms of star power, a lot of these guys are not there yet. If you were to compare the roster from now to, say, like the 2002, 2003 roster that WWE had, the star power is not there. The talent's there, but they're not up there yet in terms of star power and getting up to the next level and, popularity and notoriety. They're not there yet. They can get there, but they're not there yet right now in 2016. They're not there yet. So, having two world titles, I am completely against. Keep it as a world champion. Keep one world title, one tag team title division, one women's title, because I'm hearing rumors that they may make a women's title exclusive to the SmackDown brand. Don't do that either. Just keep those. It's okay. It may be a brand exclusive, but let the champions, the tag team, women, and world heavyweight, which will be shared amongst both brands, let whoever the title holders of those championships are, they'll be the only ones that be like the exceptions to the rule. They'll be like bouncing back and forth. Even if, say, for example, if Roman Reigns is, he's Raw exclusive, but you can see him, on Raw and on SmackDown wrestling, on both shows because he has the title. So he's an exception. He may be Raw exclusive, but because he's the world champion, you get to see him on both shows. Because Charlotte is the women's champion and she may be SmackDown exclusive, you still get to see her on both shows. It's not until when they're not champions or holding those world titles, you won't see them bouncing back and forth. So I think that's why they need to keep it. The brand extension probably could work because there are a lot of guys coming up from NXT, a lot of guys coming back from injury. Seth Rollins last week and John Cena last night. So the brand extension could work. I'm just a little apprehensive about it because WWE always does this, where, especially when it comes to the SmackDown brand, we're going to do this for SmackDown, we're going to do that for SmackDown, and they're only interested in SmackDown for about a good month and a half to 2 months, maybe 3. After those 2 or 3 months, SmackDown, the interest in SmackDown for WWE, the higher ups, the powers that be, goes right back down to being the B show. So, I kind of take this with a grain of salt. It's kind of one of those things for me. I kind of like to wait and see what happens before I get hyped up and pumped up about this. I think it's a good idea that SmackDown is going live, permanent. That, I think, is the bright spot out of all of this big news here. I think that's probably the key thing is SmackDown being live. So it makes SmackDown more must-see TV, where you have to watch it now instead of reading spoilers. So it makes SmackDown more relevant in that sense. But in terms of the whole brand split thing and WWE wanted to, beef up the roster and beef up SmackDown in particular. Um, Kind of wait and see. Like to see it played out. I definitely think this brand extension thing may somehow be played out in a storyline in WWE. I think um, leading up to SummerSlam because the thing starts like July 19th, and I got a feeling that this whole brand extension thing is going to play out in the storyline that could lead up into SummerSlam, which can make SummerSlam interesting if they play their cards right. If it's a power struggle between the McMahon children, I don't know. These are just my quick thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about the brand extension. Do you like it, hate it? What are your ideas? What are your thoughts in the box below? I am back. Buff and stuff. I saw your videos. Love them. Keep them coming. Like this video and do yourself a favor. Like this video and hit that subscribe button. Peace.